This video is sponsored by Incogni. Hi friends, Catachan are some of the most badass sons of guns in the setting. Each Catachan is an 80s action hero in their own right. So what kind of crazy insane things do you have to do to be a hero amongst heroes and be considered a notable Catachan? And also get a model, of course, the true sign of importance in 40k. And a little spoiler, they're pretty insane. So today I'll be talking about some notable Catachan, as well as a little rapid fire, funny, crazy Catachan list at the end. So stay tuned. Let's start this off with the man himself, one of the deadliest warriors of Catachan, if not the deadliest. Colonel Hand Straken is the commander of the Catachan 2nd Green Vipers, and has an iron hand to match his iron nutsack. While he was born with the iron nuts, Straken didn't have his titular iron hand, or more accurately, iron arm, pec, half abdomen, and of course nipple, until a fateful encounter with a Muriel land shark. Muriel land sharks are 25-foot, jungle-dwelling beasts that burrow through the soil and ambush their prey. These land sharks' teeth can tear straight through ceramite, and they're able to easily fell space marines. But Straken's no space marine, he's a Catachan! Straken got attacked by one of these sharks when he was battling some Eldar, and in the scuffle his arm got torn off and he got swallowed whole. But dumbass shark should have went for the head, because from the inside of the beast, Straken ripped the shark's throat out with his teeth, climbed out, went on his merry way, and got a badass robot arm after it was all blown over. And Mr. Straken has some of the most insane feats for any character in the setting, let alone a minorly augmented human. He regularly goes head to head with other factions, best of the best, and he comes out on top. Notably, he defeated a Dark Elder Archon in a duel, which are some of the most formidable melee combatants in a faction of formidable melee combatants. He strangled a Hive Tyrant to death after blowing halfway to hell, Hive Tyrants being some of the deadliest Tyranid bioforms, if not the deadliest. And he also got in a gorilla off with famous Orc Commando Snickrot. This culminated in a duel in which Straken eventually won by knocking Snickrot off a building, leaving the Orc heavily wounded. After doing that, he went on to kill a flipping Orc war boss. He did this by tackling the Hulkin war boss Kilzar off a Squiggoth and getting the both of them stepped on. Being Straken, of course he survived getting stomped on by the gargantuan Squiggoth and was saved by none other than Sly Marbo. But Straken isn't just notable for his extremely impressive combat record, he's also just kind of a cool-ass dude. Unlike many other guard commanders, Straken is not a fan of sending his guardsmen to needlessly die en masse just for the hell of it. Straken's respect and care for his troop means that they're extremely loyal to him and will do whatever is necessary to save him if need be. The aforementioned Landjaws encounter is just one instance where Straken was grievously wounded but survived. When Straken is given a fatal wound, he just laughs as a new slot just opened up for him to put some more badass robot parks on. Along with being an Iron Man, or more accurately, Man of Adamantium, Straken is also a tactical genius, truly brains and brawn. This, in addition to his attitude towards the guardsmen who serve under him, means that he really looks down upon commanders who don't respect their troopers and stupidly sacrifice waves of troops for technically inept charges or worthless moves. Then, just when you thought Straken couldn't get any cooler, his Green Vipers regiment is also known for disregarding their dorky Imperial superiors, even more so than other notoriously independent Catachan. And said superiors can't do jack shit about it because Straken and the boys are just too damn cool. Straken really embodies the maverick action hero shtick more so than any other Catachan in my opinion, even more so than the one you're thinking of. He has the bombastic feats, he disrespects authority if need be, and he has that classic no man left behind style of heroics. He's truly the coolest dude ever. Moving on to one of the deadliest warriors of Catachan, if not the deadliest, Gunnery Sergeant Sgt Harker is the leader of an elite squad at Catachan Devil. Woo! Catachan Catachan, let's go! Woo! Catachan Devil are the Catachan's elite of the elite and emulate the vicious Catachan Devil in both name and ferocity. These devils specialize in infiltration, tracking, and destroying whatever foe may face them. Wait. Tracking down and destroying things. Oh, kind of like how today's sponsor Incogni tracks down data brokers and destroys their ability to host your personal information online. Much like a Catachan Devil, these data brokers can be quite dangerous. They may not have claws, stingers, or death pincers, but they weaponize your personal information to carry out scary things like scams and identity theft. And there can be hundreds of sites that have your information. One time, I got majorly hit by the paranoia stick, and I found an alarming amount of sites with my address just from Googling my name. Since I don't want anyone to find my home and see exactly how many hours hours I waste painting little figurines, I decided to take my information down. Too bad a lot of these stupid sites make it a long and annoying process, and I wasted valuable painting time. But now, Incogni does all that work for me. Once given permission from you, Incogni goes out and does whatever is needed to remove your personal information from these data brokers. It's like having your own personal Catachan squad to eliminate your most hated foe. For me personally, Incogni has done a great job of taking out whoever this guy, Scam Likely, is, because I haven't got an annoying call from him in quite a while. So, if you're interested, click the link in the description and use the promo code CRACKDUCK to get 60% off on the annual plan. So be like a Catachan and be as stealthy as you can on the death world of the internet. And big thank you to Incogni for sponsoring this video and helping me do what I love. But yes, Harker leads his Catachan Devils, the Hellraisers, into deadly engagements deep behind enemy lines, laying traps and raising hell to prepare for the main army's arrival. Harker's main claim to fame is his legendary strength and hardness. Even stronger and harder than the already extremely strong and hard Catachan, Harker also has an extremely impressive weapon. Harker's incredible strength and size allows him to wield a heavy bolter called Payback, the same way a normal guardsman would wield a rifle. To most normal people, holding a heavy bolter by themselves would be impossible, and firing without a mount would be even more impossibler and probably break every bone in their body. Ooh, owies. Harker got his iconic weapon when he was just a wee little, hugely muscled recruit. His platoon was patrolling the death world of Oriya Osetsi looking for some holy spaghetti when they came across a warband of blood axes. The orcs ambushed the platoon and slaughtered everyone but Harker. Harker was able to survive the initial onslaught and he held his ground. He gunned down so many orcs that his lasgun had burnt out harder than I did in my college bio major. He ditched his rifle and picked up the heavy bolter from a nearby dead heavy weapons team, and through the flames of his fallen brothers, Harker blasted the rest of the orcs with his new gun, aptly named Payback. With his huge gun and even huger muscles, he's truly the coolest dude ever. Another sergeant who's one of the deadliest warriors of the Catachan, if not the deadliest, Sergeant Ripper Jackson is a force to be reckoned with. Both jacked and ripped, she is ferocious with her chainsword and bolter. She uses her tremendous Catachan strength to rush into battle, shooting a bolter in one hand and chopping Xenos with a chainsword in the other. Contrary to popular belief, her name is not from any relation to a popular murderer and lunatic, Jack the Ripper, nor is it related to chronic flatulence. It is actually from the time she fought a Necron Immortal and ripped its necrodermis apart with her bare hands, and then dropped an epic action hero one-liner. Ah, not so mortal now, are you? In fact, you really quite live up to the necro part of your name, seeing as I, Sergeant Ripper Jackson, has lived up to the Ripper part of my name, and I have ripped you asunder and you are now dead! Ha! However, she does have a famous ancestor. She's rumored to be the direct descendant of President Andrew Jackson, who is most famous for his appearance on that funny green paper that you give to your friend when you forgot to buy them a birthday present. Additionally, I completely lied about all of this, and Sergeant Ripper Jackson has pretty much no lore at all. Sorry, I hope that no one feels ripped off by this little fib. But with her cool-ass name, cool-ass sculpt, and cool-ass lack of lore, she's truly the coolest dude ever. Alright, enough jorking around. It's time for the main attraction. Let's talk about the actual deadliest warrior of Catachan. Let's talk about Mr. himself. Sly Marbo is the ultimate badass of 40k, a literal one-man army based on classic action heroes such as Rambo and Rambo from the first movie. Mr. Marbo is a Catachan devil that works alone to do whatever is needed to benefit the Imperium. From hunting down enemy leaders to destroying entire armies, Sly Marbo can do and kill it all. Like all Catachan, Sly is an expert in guerrilla warfare and is able to seemingly disappear into the environment, laying traps and emerging to silently kill whatever he feels like. Gulp? He's right behind me, isn't he? What did you say, Jeff? Jeff? Marbo excels in pretty much every form of combat, but he's especially good at sniping, having skills that rival Vindicare assassins, which is insane if you know anything about Imperial assassins. However, despite his excellent sniping skills, his most iconic weapons are his Ripper Pistol and Envenom Blade. The Ripper Pistol is an auto pistol forged by Sergeant Ripper Jackson using the metal of the immortal she famously killed. Alright, I'm just kidding. That's another Jackson lie. The Ripper Pistol is actually a modified auto pistol that shoots special armor-piercing rounds that are tipped with venom. The venom is extremely potent and can kill the huge fauna of Catachan, as well as the huge threats in the galaxy, including Astartes. So, along with the penetration, very few enemies can survive a salvo from a Ripper pistol. And if something does happen to survive the Ripper pistol and it foolishly thinks it'll be safer closing in on Sly, well, they've got another thing coming. Namely, Sly's Envenom Blade. The blade is, as the name suggests, envenomed, and it's just as deadly as the Ripper rounds, especially since Sly Marbo is a total melee menace, being described as a mini orc. And that's probably mini in the same way as a minigun, considering Sly Marble can probably kill an entire orc wall with just his pinky toe and a brown Lego stud. One time, Sly Marble painted an entire army in a single night. Then he woke him up and killed all those green world eaters. Okay, that is the dumbest Sly Marble joke ever. Just take it out. It doesn't even really make sense. But the memes aren't completely wrong. Sly Marble has done some wild things. If you thought the other Catachan's feats were crazy insano, well, you'd be right. But Sly Marble's feats are even more crazy and even more insaneo-er. Remember how it was a big deal that Straken killed an Archon? Well, one time a Dark Eldar force attacked a garrison of Catachan and brutally tortured the poor guardsmen. But after a few nights, Sly Marble broke loose and killed every single Dark Eldar there. That included witches, mandrakes, and of course the Archon. These units are some of the deadliest single combatants in all of 40k, so Marble killing a small army of them single-handedly is nuttier than a Petra Squirrel steamy mud pie. And this isn't even Marbo's craziest victory. Although his origins aren't completely known, one story is that Marbo and his 9 brothers fought together on Ryza against an orc Wa. Marbo's whole regiment was slain, but Marbo returned to the Imperial command weeks later with the head of the war boss. This dude leaves boot camp and then fights through an army of orcs to single-handedly kill its war boss. And then some more quickfire feats for Marbo. It's said that the destruction he causes is comparable to Space Marine strike forces, and it's almost incomprehensible to enemy commanders that a single man could wreak such havoc. Another time, Marbo killed an entire Xenos camp with just a tin can, and he probably only used a tin can to give some mercy to the Xenos since his bare fist would have been far too efficient. Oh yeah, and one time Sly Marble took down a frickin' Bane Lord Titan. A Titan! You know, the walking building guys with sun guns? Yeah, he took one of those down by himself somehow. Knowing him, he probably crafted Titan-sized sneakers out of some leaves, sticks, and shoe juice, sneakily put them on the Titan, tied the laces together so that the Titan would trip and fall, so then he could slit its titanic throat up close. Yes, they finally let me pilot the Titan. Things are looking up, Chaos Goon. Wait, what's that? Holy shit. No, 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 no. Even crazier, Sly Marble almost always works alone since having anyone help him would almost certainly just slow his slaughterings down. Sly Marble is also a bit of a shy Marble at times as he has trouble connecting with others and he can only feel comfortable in brutally killing something. And this segues into what I think is actually a really interesting facet of the character. Marble is an insane killing machine. And that insane part is no joke. Like I said before, Marbo is both action hero, one-man army Rambo, and mentally unwell, PTSD, all my friends are dead Rambo. After the insane bloodshed Marbo has endured, both at the enemy's hand and his own, he has become mentally scarred and unsettlingly aloof. He is described with a deep sadness and emptiness about him when he's not in combat, and he avoids most human interactions. Marbo is almost completely silent and just waits until his commanders give him a task. Once given orders, Marbo pulls a Batman disappearing act and does whatever mission he's given with flying colors. Those colors often being various shades of red. Sly Marbo is just the best, both canonically and in my heart. I just love how over the top he is, I love his competence, and I love how he actually does have some mental conflict to contrast his perfect abilities. It's awesome flavoring that plays into a somewhat unexpected action hero trope. He's truly the coolest dude ever. But before we go, let me quickly talk about a few more relatively obscure Catachan and their feats. Catachan Arden is a trooper who is most notable for his melee acumen. He refused to learn how to operate a lasgun as he preferred to use a Devil Claw's blade. His sergeant really tried to get him to learn how to shoot, but a week later he just filed a report saying, "Never mind." Arden's claim to fame was that he single-handedly held back a branch of an orc horde. He was said to have bested 23 orcs in melee combat, which is nutty, and Arden's also apparently illiterate, which is fine since he's here to make 'em bleed, not to read. Then, this next one's probably the least obscure and will probably be in the Ogre and Funny Moments video that my Discord wants, but might never happen. Nork Deddogg is a genius. By Ogre standards, that is. So he's probably slightly smarter than the people who say 40k isn't a satire. He is unquestionably loyal and extremely good at garden bodies. He's even stronger than the average Ogre once I'm killing an Orc war boss with a single headbutt. Like, damn, Straken needed to get stepped on by 1998 Godzilla to kill a war boss. And Nork, he just gets his big head in there. And finally, my favorite of these guys, Colonel Deathstrike, commander of the Catachan 183rd. He earned his nickname as a sergeant since he is statistically 88% as effective as the average Deathstrike missile, which, if lore-wise, is absolutely insane since Deathstrike missiles are intercontinental ballistic missiles of mass destruction that are usually used to completely annihilate armies. And if we're going by tabletop, then the Colonel probably got his name after his first girlfriend found his huge missile. Disappointing. But please let me know if anyone knows any info on this guy, because being 88% as effective as a fucking ICBM has to be the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, those are some of the coolest dudes ever and their wacko feats. Cadans are my favorite regiment, but most of my favorite guard characters are Catachan. And I don't care if it's silly or unrealistic that these humans can pull off these feats, and I don't care if they may or may not be legends. They're just so damn cool to me. Plus, the fact that these feats are even contentious in the lore tells me that these dudes are at least believed to potentially be able to do such things, which is insane in itself. But with that, thank you everyone for watching. Let me know what your favorite Catachan are, and please let me know if there's any other cool Catachan moments I may have missed or didn't have time to put into the video. And thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel and help me to make videos and improve the quality of my videos. I really appreciate it. And also thank you to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Remember to check that link for a 60% discount code. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and consider sharing to all your legendary mega muscle jungle buddies. Thanks. 88%, man. Like, how do you even calculate that? Like, is it just death tool? Did they consider the cost? Because, like, that would make him even more insane, right? Someone please do the math. I love Colonel Deathstrike.